Hello students, welcome to my channel Savita Sharma, your English mentor. Today's lesson is going to be one of the milestones of your success because today's lesson is not a simple concept, it is an advanced level concept. Okay, so today we are going to talk about the difference between relative pronoun, which and that, where to use and how to use it. Okay, so in today's class we are going to learn about this, but before this you must have some basic concepts about basic concepts like the knowledge of clauses, because it is an advanced level, and if you are not having your previous lesson prepared, you will get difficulty in getting understanding of these concepts. Okay, so in today's concept, first you must know that which and that, they are relative pronoun. What are relative pronouns? In the list of pronouns, you must have seen that we have one category, relative pronouns, and you have read the same thing in conjunctor also. While you are doing subordinating conjunctor, in that list also you have seen who, which, that, these words. Okay, so why we are having the same concept or same words in these two different concepts? Because relative pronoun is actually conjunctive pronoun. That means, like in day 1 or 2, I'm going to upload one more page in my short videos about the function of words. That means the position of words, it decides the role of the word. Okay, that it will be pronoun, it will be adjective, it will be adverb. That means position matters a lot. Okay, and when your pronoun is at the position where you are combining two clauses together, at that time it is playing the role of conjunctor. So this conjunctive pronoun is called relative pronoun, and which and that, they are relative pronoun. We have a list of relative pronouns, but we are not going in deep of that. We are going, we are we are talking about which and that only. Okay, so here you can see relative pronouns: who, whom, whose, which, and that. Who for subjective case, or a for a person. Okay, whom while you are talking about accusative case, then whose in case of possession, and which and that for non-living things. But there is a big difference between which and that. What is that? We are going to discuss that. Here I have written some examples for the same, and you need to understand. Here first you have to see the sun, whose rays give life to the earth, is regarded by some people as God. Okay, so here you have noticed I'm putting commas over here. That means while you are enlarging your sentence. In my previous classes, I told you basic format for the sentence, it will remain same: subject plus helping verb and plus object. And while we are enlarging our sentences, at that time we are adding adjectives, adjective phrases, adjective clauses, and same adverb phrases, adverb clauses, noun clauses, to make the same sentence enlarged. So these relative pronouns are used are used um, to add adjective clauses in your sentence. Got the point? That means these pronouns, they help in enlargement of your sentence, but the enlargement with the help of adjective clauses. Okay, and while you are adding them, here you can say sun is regarded by some people as God. It is the main clause. But we are enlarging this sentence by introducing this clause. Okay, we are enlarging this. Whose rays give life to the earth. Okay, so here you can see I'm using these commas. Why? Because while I'm saying the sun, that means you know, everyone, every listener knows that sun, we have only one sun and we are talking about that. That means for its identification, some extra clause is not required. But even after that, you are adding. That means it is just an extra information. It is not helping the listener to understand that like about which son I'm talking. Okay, that means it is just this clause is just an extra information, and because it is not required, we are just adding extra information. It is not very much required, but this extra information which you are adding, that means this information, because it is not required, it is called non defining clause. Non defining, that means it is not helping you to define the definition of your subject. That means in the identification of your subject, this clause is not helping, and therefore it can be excluded from the excluded. It can be excluded from this sentence, and even after that, the person easily will be able to know that you are talking about the sun. Got the point? So here this is called the clause. It is adjective clause, no doubt. It is adjective clause. But adjective clause is further categorized into two categories. One is defining clause and one in non-defining clause. And while you are putting these commas, that means it is non-defining clause. Okay. And if it is defining clause, these commas you have to remove. That means this punctuation mark, these punctuation marks, they are playing a great role in the understanding of this sentence. Otherwise, listen and understand the meaning implies by these clauses. It changes the complete meaning of the whole concept, or according to the context we use these punctuation marks. Example, next example, the teacher sent for a boy. The teacher sent for a boy, but even after that, I want to add some extra information. Who came at once? That means he, after listening the teacher's like teacher's order, the child came immediately. He obeyed the teacher. So here we are adding extra information, and it is not very much required. Therefore, we are using comma. That means this comma is telling you that this information is just as an extra information, additional information. That means if you are excluding it, it will not affect the meaning of the sentence. Read the next example. My brother, who is a doctor, has gone to America. I have written the same sentence twice, one with comma and one without comma. While you are using with comma, okay, that means this is extra information. It is not required. That means its meaning, the meaning of this sentence implies something else. So you need to understand that. My brother, who is a doctor, has gone to the America. Here I'm not using commas. That means it is a defining clause. And if it is a defining clause, that means this sentence implies the meaning that I have many brothers. And I'm talking about that brother who is a doctor. Got the point? That means here it is defining clause. But in the next sentence, my brother, where I'm using commas in the sentence, it means I have only one brother. He is a doctor and I'm talking about him. And if you are excluding this who is a doctor, even after that you will land on the same subject. That means you will imagine about the same person, that my brother, because I have only one brother. Got the point? Now, here I'm using commas because it is non-defining clause, and here in this sentence I'm not using commas because it is defining clause. Come to the next example. My selecting defining clause. That means if you are excluding these commas, what would happen? Meaning implies something else. And what will be the meaning in that case? I have many fathers, and this clause is very important because I'm talking about that father who is a schoolmaster. Getting the point? So you can't remove these commas because brother and sisters you may have many, but father you will have only one. Okay, so come to the next. My sister. That means in this case again, I have many sisters, but I'm talking about that sister who is my sister that has been adopted by my uncle is ill. That means I'm talking about that particular sister. Here I'm using this that in place of you who because that can be used for living things, for non-living things, and while you are combining or your things are plural form in plural form. Okay, so my sister that has been adopted by my uncle is ill. That means I have many sisters, and particularly I'm talking about that sister. Okay, that means so that easily you could identify that about whom I'm talking. Now next, here you can see human beings and animals. Here I have given you a list where you can use that. Not can use, you have to use that only. In case of non-living things, if you are using which, that means it will be non-defining clause and you have to put commas. But if for a non-living thing, okay, you want to help the person. For example, the yellow vase had been broken. The yellow, if I'm telling yellow color, okay, that means in that case I will not use that. In that case, I will use which because it is in that case the yellow, that means the yellow color is helping you in identification. And in that case, some additional clause is not required. It is non-essential. That means it is in that case, non-defining clause can be used. Okay, defining clause is not required. But if you are saying the was, which one? That means that information is required. In that case you have to use that, and with that you will not use any comma. Okay, no commas will be used in case of that. And that they like that is used in many different situations. You need to note them down. One is human being and animals. That means if I'm talking about the lady and her dog, okay, I saw what? See, so here, while you are talking about the human being, the lady, and the lady and her dog, okay, that was sitting in the park yesterday. Maybe you have seen yesterday. Okay, that here we will use that were sitting in the park. Okay, what like are coming towards us. So here I'm using for two people, I'm using that. Okay. Next we will see superlative degree. Superlative degree means third degree of adjective. That means whenever like she is the most intelligent boy. She is the most intelligent boy. The most intelligent. It is third degree. That I knew. So in this case, I will not use who. In this case, I will use that only. Okay, so same like this, we have some words, same, any, none, nothing, the only, the little money. Okay, two examples I'm writing over here. I have given him everything that I had. So with everything, if I'm adding some clause, that clause will be non-defining clause, and in that case we will use that only, we will not use which. Okay, see one more example. She is the most beautiful lady that I know. Got the concept? So here we are finishing this concept. As I told you, previous concept you must know about the clauses. That means the basic sentence we are having, we are adding some extra information, but we are adding this extra information at the place of subject because they are adjective clause. So if they are adjective clause, here space, okay, let me note down here. The basic format is subject plus helping verb plus verb and object. At these two places, we have subject and object. So whatever the extra information we are adding in this at this place, that is called adjective. But if it is in one word, adjective, group of words, phrases, and if it's a full sentence, it will be adjective clause. But mind my words, if commas are there, that means it is non-defining clause, non-essential. You can exclude them. And if without commas it is written, that means this clause you can't exclude. It is very important to identify the subject. For the identification of subject or object, that clause is very essential. Got the point? We can use who, whose, whom in non, in both, like both defining and non-defining clause, we can use both. But in case of which will be used only in non-defining, and that will be used in defining clauses. Got the point? That means whose, whom, and who, with them, without comma or with comma. You can see these, you can observe this thing in your writing section. But with in case of which, like where you feel, which can be used. Okay, in that case only you have to use that in case of defining clause. Okay, so today's concept, I think I'm finishing this concept, and we will meet in our next session. Thank you.